Hello, my name is Owen Flynn. I'm a nurse, also CCRN, and I have been a nurse for about 7 to almost 8 years now. Today we will be looking at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention as we look at chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and this is what we'll be focusing on today. Now, the site is sponsored by the CDC and the National Center for Disease Prevention and Health Promotion Division of Population Health, and it was last revised in June 6, 2018. And we look at the sites. There is a few categories here. We do have what is COPD, the basics about COPD, the fact sheet, data statistics, and resources. And as we navigate through this, we will focus on a few important things here. Now, the basics about COPD. Just goes over some simple introductions for COPD, the symptoms, who has COPD, who's prevalent in getting COPD, and once it was focused on just being a man's disease, is actually now considered both actually men and women have this disease, and usually found in this older population with also some genetic predisposition to this as well. What causes COPD and some of the complications or effects of COPD. That's one of my experience. And then also important one is how they diagnose it, how do they find out you actually have COPD, and then the treatment for it. Another good thing to have here is how you can be reference this for families who need some basic information. If you want to look at more of the stats of it, for nurses or family NPs who want to see how prevalent this is, you can actually see that COPD death rates in the United States have been decreasing as they have banned smoking, worked on air pollution. You no longer smoke in bars or smoke in restaurants, decrease secondhand smoking. So it has decreased a little bit. It goes over that information in the states that is most prevalent in the United States. As we do go over this, I do want to focus on one thing here, and there is the fact sheet. Here we go. The fact sheet has this great ability where you can focus on one state. So let's say you live in New York State, and you want to see how prevalent it is in New York State. Well, we can find out right here. So we can go down here to characteristics, and in New York State you can see that the main group who has it actually 65 to 74 years old, and also greater than 75 years old. The race, sex, and employment status. Most of these people are retired or unable to work. And you can also look at the level of education and income that these people have. And you see the majority of them are actually divorced, widowed, or separated, and are current smokers and have had asthma, so this does affect the lungs. With that, you want to also focus on other things, and you want to look at decreasing the smoking. So if the smoking has been causing it, you want to stop smoking and work on maybe ways to quit smoking. And there's also that in here as well, where it gives you some sites to go visit. So if you want to start maybe nicotine patch, gum, or just other ways to quit smoking, you can have that here. Now let's also have the basics of what is COPD disease, and how 15 million Americans have been diagnosed with COPD. We have the symptoms of it, and also the causes. So most often it is the tobacco, like we have said, and prevention and treatment. So great thing for nurses, family members. You also want to prevent this, and then also want to treat this. So if you are a smoker, obviously you want to quit that, work on cessation. You want to eliminate that exposure, pollutants. And as there is no cure for COPD, there's treatments to make things better, and we can work on that with pulmonary rehabilitation, maybe some physical activity training, and even oxygen treatment to help that. And as we continue on, I do want to say this is a pretty important topic for me, because as I do work as a nurse, I do work in a medical ICU, and we do see quite a bit of people with COPD and COPD exacerbations who come in. Some are smokers, some just have worked in pollution areas, or even like diesel trucks, and this is a pretty common diagnosis when they go to COPD exacerbation and need extra oxygen, end up in the ICU, or they have these complications, and now they need some preventions of making the COPD worse, such as getting their vaccines. And we'll go back to that, and there's some great vaccination information in here as well. Let me see here. As we do get vaccination information down here, because if your lungs are already inhibited, you don't want to make them even worse. As we do continue on, We have media products, and I find this fantastic, is there's even podcasts, which is people can listen to, get extra information. As you can see, this right here is COPD awareness. So a little bit of extra information for the family NP, for the person who's diagnosed, or even the family who's trying to help out the person who does have COPD. Now, we do continue on. There's some publications. So this is the latest COPD information and related sources through the CDC. There's additional resources as well. And down here, we will find self-management and also support groups for people who have been diagnosed with COPD. For clinicians, this is great for the family NP, just some extra information for them. General rules, pulmonary rehabilitation, and also this is the self-management of the person who has it. This is the ways to find out smoking cessation and the vaccinations right here. The great thing about this is it also is in Spanish, so if you do not speak English, there's also a Spanish part of this entire website, which does go through. And I do feel like this will benefit families, nurses, and nurse practitioners as they want to treat the family as best as possible, and also be aware of the symptoms and when they need to seek guidance for these symptoms. Thank you for watching my video. This is Owen Flynn.